Virginia State Senator Janet Howell has basically called for an amendment that would force men who need Viagra or want to get Viagra to get a rectal exam first.
Win.
And she's
immediate loss. But I love it because it seems so random, right? Why? What does a rectal exam have anything to do with, erectile dysfunction? And you think, like, why is she striking out against guys like this? God, it seems so hateful, right?
Right.
Until you find out why she did it.
Right. So she's basically doing this as a way of protesting a bill that the Senate is voting on in Virginia right now that would force women who want to get an abortion to look at their ultrasound, right?
So I love the point she's making. She's saying, look, you're forcing an invasive procedure on a woman who doesn't necessarily want it. And by the way, also at her cost, let alone convenience, let alone moral decisions made about your own body, et cetera, right? So if you're going to force this on women, and a lot of you that are voting on this are guys, right? Well, all right, great. Then two can play at that game. You want to get Viagra? Let me see your rectum. Not personally, she doesn't want to see it, right?
Right.
But she wants the doctor to do a check and to do a cardiac check too, which, by the way, might help some people. But
yeah, a cardiac check I think makes sense. But the rectal exam is obviously a way of catching people's attention, and nothing makes people like cringe a little bit more than the idea of getting a rectal exam.
Yeah, except for, by the way, if you're in a really tight spot and you need an abortion and somebody makes you look at your ultrasound, that makes you incredibly uncomfortable. So, hey, two can play at that game. And you know what the amazing part of this is? And now, Anna mentioned that it's an amendment. It's an amendment to a bill in the state of Virginia, right? The bill, her amendment, barely lost.
I know. What's amazing, okay, first of all, there are 7 women in the Virginia State Senate. 6 of those women voted in favor of the bill. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. But what's amazing is that it just barely lost. I want to give you the numbers. It lost 21-19.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it almost passed. Could you imagine if it passed? All of a sudden they're like, really?
We really have to make sure men get rectal exams if they want Viagra in Virginia. That's amazing. By the way, I really loved her quote, so I wanted to read it to you guys. She says, "We need some gender equality here. The Virginia Senate is about to pass a bill that will require a woman to have totally unnecessary medical procedure at their cost and inconvenience. If we're going to do that to women, why not do that to men?" Yeah.
Look at that female power for men.
No, because, and look, understand where I'm coming from. Like, you have all of these male senators, politicians, you have Rick Santorum telling women, if you get raped, you should be forced to have that baby. Who are you? You have a penis. You don't know what it's like to carry a baby for 9 months. You don't have to deal with that drama, right? You get to stand and watch and, judge women based on whatever your religious beliefs are. So I love the idea of having women, basically propose legislation that would really affect a man, and then you see what it's like.
And by the way, get a load of the courage of these state senators, because after they took a vote, 19-21, on that bill, when it came to the ultrasound bill, they didn't actually count people's vote. They did a voice vote, which then allows them to say, oh, I don't know who voted for it and who didn't. It just happened to pass.
I was going to ask you about that, because I'm like, a voice vote, does that make sure that there's no name recognition when it comes to the bill? Okay.
That's the cheesy way of passing something, when you think, I want to take credit for it now with my supporters, but later I want to be able to deny it.